Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't love it.
You don't.
But I'm not trying to take away from your joy. I'm not trying to yuck your yum.
As we love to say.
Be what you want to be. I think it's just repetitive and I'm not into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I watched this really great TikTok of this beautiful woman explaining how Rihanna is an amazing singer and mad props, but she does the bare minimum. She just
Stand under my umbrella, Ella, Ella, eh, eh, eh. What could go next? Why don't we stand under the umbrella again?
Yeah. And they just went through every single song and they're like, she just does.
She phones it
only
in.
a couple of things and she's still iconic. But anyway.
Hi,
Kate.
Dom.
Kate.
So good to be here. As I said, we're finally alone.
You shutting your door was quite the
it was very romantic.
Display.
It was, wasn't it? I was like, I'm just going to close my door really quickly.
Folks, she put her hair up in a ponytail.
Oh no!
She got the coconut.
Some coconut oil.
We're getting ready.
Oh my goodness me! I should put my hair up. There we go. Perfect. I look like a conch shell.
I look like Thing 1 and Thing 2 from Dr. Seuss.
Yes. Dominic, wow. Are we recording?
Yes.
Who'd have thought? People listening are like, do they know that we're here too? I don't know what today's story is, and I've already started with the stutters. That's a strong start. Lucky I'm not doing this story today.
No, it's my turn. But
how are you? Are you well?
I'm good. I'm really glad we had a long weekend because by golly,
God, same.
Work is intense.
I need the holidays.
Yeah. I would love a holiday.
Yeah.
I just had my 60-day check-in at my new job and I'm like, it feels like 60 years. Yeah. And my boss is like, I know.
Well, that's good. At least they're supportive.
Yeah, they're very supportive. And I think we've just got that like, oh shit, look on our faces of like, we're burning the candle. Like, no, we're flamethrowing the candle. Anyway.
But what I would like to know is whether or not we
housekeeping.
have any
We sure do, Kate.
Excellent.
It's the stock standard usual, folks. Please go check us out on all the social channels at shitten.bricks.podcast. Because we're funny.
Please do. I'm going to have a quick shout out. I had a good chat with Amy today. Amy's one of our longest fans. She's one of our brickies. She's a legend. I was just having a chat to her today and she's just a treat.
She's
hi, Amy.
So sweet. Amy,
she's the sweetest.
I can't wait to go and meet her. Like
I know, in Minnesota.
Oh, gee.
She was telling me, I know when I go there, I'm going to ask her to take me out for a Bloody Mary. She was saying about how they have like the sidecars that have like a full meal because I posted a video about happiness is finding 2 olives in your martini when you're hungry. And she was explaining about these sidecars with like a full chicken and like wings and all this is like I just ordered a drink, not a proper sit down, but okay.
Yeah, portion control, not something the States is known for.
Exactly.
Well, as be like Amy, that's the best. You know, what would Amy do? She would go check out our socials, so you should too.
You should. Please do.
Yeah.
Love to hear from you.
Exactly. And as Amy is, she's also one of our brickies.
Yes.
Long-standing brickie. And each week we give you an extra bonus episode that only you get to listen to if you sign up for just a couple of bucks.
Exactly. Get on it. And in there like swimwear.
Oh, yeah. And this week's bonus episode is terrifying.
Excellent. I cannot wait.
Shit-inducing.
Ooh.
Yes.
Actually, I did try a hot sauce on the weekend called Shit the Bed. Delicious. Didn't
They
shit
should
the bed.
sponsor us.
They
Oh,
should, but it was very, very good.
oh, love a good shit.
Sorry, I got distracted because I just found some bubbles on my desk.
Oh,
They look
enjoy.
old.
See if they keep bubbling
Oh,
away.
no, it's a bit thick. That's what she said.
Just-
They don't work. I got to put them in the bin.
Okay, and
okay. Yes.
we also have our BooPod Network podcast feature this week is none other than Spilling the Crime. And as you know, I have a soft spot for Umberto and Jonas because they're gorgeous and they're of the family.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they do like big name, big story, big feature stories each week. And they're from Portugal, I believe.
Portugal.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've got that right.
Yep.
But yeah, anyway, they're our feature podcast, and here is their it's not video because we're
promo. They're promo.
Boop-a-da-boop-beep. Okay, Kate.
Yes.
We are a minute over. Shall we get stuck into it?
Oh, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get stuck in like a roast pig on Christmas Day.
Oh, crackle, snap, pop.
Let's do it.
You got a turducken handy like last week?
Yes. Just to our listeners as well, I'm not drinking this week. Okay. So I might not be as
interesting.
I am drinking. Haha. School holidays is coming. I'm burning the candle. We're flamethrowing all the candles.
Dom, it for me, Kate, because yeah, I'm up to
I know you've been so healthy. Good
no
for you.
Drinking and no vaping.
Well done. I'll take. Never mind. Please continue.
Okay. So this week's episode, as our listeners already know, because they clicked on it, and Kate, you're finding out.
I'm finding out right now.
I decided to be inspired big time by pop culture, and I am doing a story. And it's not quite a story, it's actually a set of interviews and articles based on the most recent TV show cult following of The Last of Us.
Ooh!
And we're going to really unpack the science and the reality of zombie fungus.
I love this. Please give me the lowdown on zombie fungus.
I hope you're prepared because it's icky and
so
it
excited.
scares the shit out of me.
Great, let's go.
But it's also like a personal favorite obsession of mine is I genuinely, part of me hopes that there is a zombie apocalypse one day. I'm ready.
You're ready. You were born ready.
I'm so ready.
Born ready.
I have got my plan of attack and strategy. No joke.
I love it.
Okay. So anyway, separate episode.
Yeah. Hit me with the fungus, the zombie fungs.
Okay. Now, the scariest shows and movies are often the ones rooted in reality. Isn't that right, Kate?
Correct.
They're often about psychopathic killers, late night home invasions.
Traveling back in time in a DeLorean.
Yeah. Oh, scary.
Whoa.
Or AI robot dolls. Yeah. Like tick, 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 tick. But there's also zombie apocalypses. And they usually don't count in that, list of like based in reality, right? Because we just immediately think zombies aren't real.
Yeah.
But what if they are?
Ooh.
So, as I mentioned, there is a new show on HBO called The Last of Us, and it presents a compelling case that perhaps there's such a thing as a realistic zombie.
Okay.
Or realistic-ish.
Yeah.
But it's definitely scary nonetheless.
Well, if things, and we've done a lot of stuff on the mind.
We sure have.
Things poison your mind, they can make weird things happen. So, who's to say?
There is such a thread through all of our episodes.
I love it. I like how our brains work.
Yeah. And in my opinion, I think this is the most convincing argument or case for zombies actually happening.
Let's do it. Oh my God, let's go.
Okay, so the premise of the show, which is based on the popular video game of the same name, isn't that different from your typical post-apocalyptic horror story. You know, there's US cities, they're crumbling, there are rabid animals, humans everywhere. And there's a pair of unlikely heroes who team up as they travel across the country. The zombies, however, are truly inspired. More specifically, they are inspired by nature, by real zombies that live on Earth today.
What?
Yeah.
Tell me about the zombies.
Zombies are real, Kate.
What? Oh, okay.
Now, in the show, it's not a virus that turns people into brainless automatons.
Yeah.
You know, it's like rabies, that kind of storyline.
Yeah, it's always being bitten by something.
Exactly. In this case, it's a kind of fungus called cordyceps.
Cordyceps. Okay.
Cordyceps. Cordyceps.
Cordyceps.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the fungus takes over their minds and bodies and makes them want to spread the fungus to the uninfected. Right? Hence the zombie-ish kind of behavior.
Yes.
Now, the thing is, Kate, cordyceps are actually 100% real.
Too legit to quit.
Yeah. This is no joke, based on reality.
Science.
Yeah. Science. Remember? Science.
I do.
Very
Science.
sciencey.
It's so sciencey.
Now, in tropical, subtropical, and even temperate forests around the world, and that, by the way, is most places.
Yeah.
There are many species of fungus in the genus Cordyceps or Ophiocordyceps. They infect insects like ants and other invertebrates.
Oh, Dom.
Is this ringing a bell?
Yes, because I've just... Oh, hang on. No, I'm thinking about it too much. My entire body of skin is crawling. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I know. Oh, God. Okay, go. You're going to tell me more about it. Fuck. Okay. I'm ready.
And these insects or invertebrates, they do essentially turn into zombies.
Sorry, I remember seeing pictures, like my hands are tingling.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me. I hate it.
Now, the fungi take over their minds and their bodies, causing them to behave in such a way as to spread spores to others of their kind.
Oh, I don't like words like fungus and spores. It just... Okay.
Now, Kate's being triggered, and some of you may be triggered from this because this was popularized in 2006, which is actually a while ago,
so
but I
long
remember
ago.
it.
Yeah.
But it appeared on the show Planet Earth.
Right.
Remember? Good old mate?
David!
David!
David! Oh, David! I do.
Now
David Attenborough.
Yeah, we don't mind things that he says, but even this, like he couldn't
He couldn't handle it.
This.
He couldn't not sugarcoat this pile of turd. He struggled.
So in 2006 on the Planet Show Earth,
Planet Shit. Yeah.
It captured an Ophiocordyceps parasitizing a bullet ant.
Oh.
And it was in that particular clip where the fungus caused the ant to climb up a branch before killing it and sprouting a spore-producing mushroom from the ant's head.
Oh. Okay.
Please
I've discovered my newest freaking phobia. This is actually causing me like physical... Oh, my appendages are tingling, and not in the good way. Like they are making like my muscles tense up in my knees, and it's making me want to shake out my hands like some sort of tick. Okay.
Yep. Now, it's so impressive because that particular clip from that show actually inspired the game creator, because this TV show is based off of the video game. All because of that clip that inspired the game's creator, Neil Druckmann. So, I'm not going to tell the story of how he developed the game and but it's really kind of cool.
Thanks, Neil.
This all sort of started from a little clip on Planet Earth.
Oh.
So, This fungus is real and it can turn bugs into zombies. That's pretty rad, but does it pose a threat to us, Kate?
Please tell me that it doesn't. I swear to fucking God, I will just jettison myself into the ocean.
You will have to stick around to find out.
Oh.
Now, a comforting fact is that people have been eating cordyceps for centuries now
Okay.
without turning rabid.
I did have some mushrooms in my dinner just before.
Oh, nice.
Am I going to be okay?
You'll be okay.
Okay.
Now, cordyceps are actually a traditional Chinese medicine. They're used to treat kidney disease and other ailments.
Mm.
And even wellness brands are now marketing cordyceps.
Is that popular right now, seeing as people have just watched
Had a bit of a hit to their sales.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Now, interestingly enough, they may even have the following properties. They may be an anti-tumor, anti-diabetic, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, which means it destroys or stops microbes from growing.
Okay, that's a positive.
Yep, it inhibits platelet aggregation, so causing unnecessary clots in the blood system.
Oh, that's good.
It's hypolipidemic, which means it reduces the concentrations of lipids or fatty substances in the blood. It can be an analgesic, which means pain relieving. And it can be an immunomodulatory, which means they modulate the immune system.
Dominic, can I just say, I'm so thoroughly impressed with your reading of all of those science words. Last week, I just neglected to say them because I could not. I just said science.
Yeah,
so,
it's science.
Thank you. It's science.
It's
science, and blah, blah, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. Okay.
So
they've got really positive benefits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. And researchers have also suggested that cordycepin may have the potential to treat a range of conditions, including osteoporosis, arthritis, cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, malaria. Diabetes. So, they're all not good things.
These are all good things. No, they're not good things, but this treating those things is a good thing.
Yeah.
All right. Now, question. Can I, little asterisk, sidebar, note, can I have you in my chambers for a moment, please, counsellor? When it says that it can treat these things, is it because it just takes control of the host's body and then the host doesn't need to worry about them anymore? So it's technically treating them, but they've actually turned into a zombie?
Maybe. Who knows?
Just clarifying. All right, please, we'll return back out to the courthouse. But, counsellor, please behave yourself. I don't want to have to bring you in here again.
It's interesting. Like, in all those theoretical zombie movies, it's like you don't see a zombie dying from cancer or dying from diabetes.
I think their priority list has changed a little bit. They're like, should I go and get a skin check for this little mole on my forehead? Brains. I think it's
an interesting point that you bring up, though, Kate, because there is a very clear distinction between the zombies that we're used to seeing in pop culture versus these particular zombies.
Yeah. So, Plant Zombie, is that the game, the computer game?
Mm-hmm.
Plant Zombie, that's a good game. I like that one.
So bear with me on that. Put a pin in it.
Okay.
Okay. But sounds all good, but to be sure, which, because being really sure about the end of the world and a zombie apocalypse.
As my Irish heritage suggests, to be sure.
To be sure. I did find a couple articles and interviews with the experts.
Excellent.
We're not.
What?
Yes.
Hang on. What do you mean? The fact that I just asked a question about whether or not things can be beneficial health-wise or whether people are just being taken over as zombies. That's not me being an expert.
Hey, wild things have happened.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah. So I have one expert named Carissa DeBecker. She's a mycologist who researches Ophiocordyceps.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a professor of biology at the Utrecht University in the Netherlands. And Carissa has not seen the show, but she is familiar with the game. So,
okay, so she's got a bit of context around it.
She gets this.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to switch my, manner of speaking and reading and so on, because this is an interview.
Please put on a voice.
I'm not putting on a voice.
Okay.
I can't put on a Dutch voice.
A Dutch voice? It's like a Goldfinger from, Goldmember, Austin Powers. I love gold.
I love gold.
Oh, that's a good piss. That's a good Foxy
Faja.
Faja.
Could you imagine the next 30 minutes of me
Oh
speaking
God.
like
Yeah,
that?
people would be turning off immediately. Stick
Okay,
around, folks. He's not going to do it.
I won't. All right, this is the interview with mycologist Carissa DeBecker.
Welcome, Carissa.
Okay. Question. To be clear, the fungus in the show The Last of Us is real, right? Carissa. Yes, cordyceps and Orpheocordyceps fungi are real and they infect insects only in the wild. There are many different species out there, though. How many?
How many?
Researchers have described at least 30 Ophiocordyceps species that parasitize ants, but we know there are many more because every ant species that gets infected has its own specialized Ophiocordyceps species.
Oh,
So it's like a
so
fingerprint.
they've got to match them up
Yeah.
for it to work. Okay.
There are also Ophiocordyceps and cordyceps fungi that infect other insects like wasps and flies.
It just made me think of a wasp one. Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Now
Oh. Oh, it's just I can't. It's really quite visceral when I think of it. It really is. Okay, please continue. I'm sorry.
Now, we also see this go beyond insects into arthropods like spiders.
Cool. Love that. Combine them both. Why don't you? I'm a fucking arachnophobe and just put some fungus in it, make it crawl around and be fucking brain dead. Oh my God. Oh, yeah. I do not
Zombie
like this story. Fucking hell. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Can I just tell you that I have never ever reacted to any of our stories like this. Talk to me about murders and rapes and dungeons and prisons and anxieties and brains and all that sort of stuff. This has genuinely got me. I physically cannot stand this. Please continue.
Okay. Now, we also see this go beyond insects to arthropods like spiders. Then there's a whole other group of fungi in the order of entomophthalales. Entomophthalales.
Correct.
That does manipulation as well. And these species don't look anything like Ophiocordyceps.
No. Why would they? They want to hide. Perfect. Never going into the forest again.
Now this manipulation has evolved multiple times across the fungi kingdom.
Good.
And the biodiversity of these fungi is probably really high. We just haven't discovered them all yet.
Cool.
Okay, so question. How do these fungi manipulate their hosts in the wild?
I really don't like this story. Okay, how do they do it, Dom? Please tell me.
So what we see specifically with ants is that they pick up spores, which are kind of like seeds for fungus. When they go out into the forest to forage for food. Now the spore infects the ant and fungal cells start growing inside its body.
Okay. I'm sorry. I don't care for it.
Just block your ears.
I know. As simple as me just taking out my headphone and I won't have to listen to this, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Now, in the beginning, the ant might act completely normal.
Oh, lull you into a false sense of security.
But eventually, it stops participating in the foraging efforts of the colony.
Bill's been acting weird lately. He hasn't foraged once this week. Is he all right?
Standing around, being lazy.
He just keeps headbutting that tree over there. Bill, Dal, we're going foraging. You coming? Dung, dung, dung. Oh shit! Bill's been infected.
Don't go near him.
Don't go near him. He's a fungi.
Now, as a result of so not only does it stop foraging,
oh god,
it stops communicating well with its nestmates.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it goes a bit mute.
Goes a bit cuckoo.
And then this ant starts to become hyperactive and no longer has the same daily rhythms of other ants.
Bill, why are you doing laps, Dal? Why are you doing laps? Bill, can anyone get through to him? It's like talking to a brick wall. Jesus Christ.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
just imagining
broken.
I'm just imagining this ant and it's got fucked up eyeballs. It's just fucking shit growing out of its orifice. And it's just clocking laps around the forest, not foraging, not lifting its weight. Everyone else is doing all the fucking work. And Bill's just lost the absolute plot.
Yep.
Goodness me.
Now, the ant's now very hyperactive.
Mm-hmm.
And most carpenter ants, for example, forage during nighttime, but the infected ant basically becomes active all the time.
Oh, wow. How exhausting.
At one point, the infected ant wanders off from the colony to find a spot in the forest to climb and bite, usually down on a twig or vine. This is where the fungus will quickly start to consume everything inside, which kills the host.
Oh.
Now, the fungus uses that energy to sprout a stalk
Ugh.
with a fruiting body, which is called the mushroom, if you will, which has spores that fly out and infect more ants. Okay, she's not going to be able to eat mushroom.
I hate that we have discovered on air my number one most. Oh, this is, I think, like my top thing that I just cannot. I wish I was taking the piss. I wish I was doing this just to be, I don't know, entertaining. I cannot with this. It is too much for me. Okay. And then you know what's going to happen. No, you know what's going to happen is after this, I'm going to watch a fucking video about it because I'll need to see it. And I'm going to shit myself and piss myself all at once watching this goddamn mushroom grow out of Bill's head and then infect all the other people. So then all of a sudden they're like, oh, Jesus Christ, where's Natalie and Sion? Sion's over here. He's bloody running laps as well. A whole colony. Okay, please continue. I'm fine.
Deep breaths, Kate.
I'm fine. I might need to go and get another glass of wine.
Now, by climbing higher up in the forest, the ant basically helps the fungus spread its spores.
Perfect.
The specific spot it chooses to climb may actually help with the development of the fungus. This whole process could take days or weeks or even months. And what you often see in zombie movies or The Last of Us, for instance, things happen a lot quicker.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but in nature, the reality is things take some time to actually happen. So it's not instantaneous like we might see in pop culture. Okay, question. Are Orpheocordyceps actually controlling the minds of ants?
That's what I would like to know. It was actually going to be my question. I'm like, does the ant know it's climbing or is the mushroom just being the puppeteer? Okay.
Now, Carissa thinks this fungus, or the scientific community thinks, this fungus is secreting certain chemicals that can bind to or interact with receptors or other sorts of proteins that are related to the nervous system and normally give rise to different behaviors. So it's just like chemically altering your brain, pretty much.
Okay.
For instance, these could be receptors that normally would bind to dopamine or serotonin. That might then elicit a certain type of behavior.
Mm-hmm.
So, but she does clarify, we're still very much in the process of trying to figure all that out. It's not like, you can just whiz open an ant's brain and figure it
and chuck some electrodes on it and put it through an MRI scanner. Yeah.
Kind of small.
A little tiny little baby MRI.
So, to dispel some of the fear, scientists certainly don't think that it's just, something chomping away at their brain or whatever.
Understood.
It's not maybe as graphic or as...
Okay. It's just messing with the pathways.
Yeah.
Understood.
So, would we actually call these infected host zombies? Is that scientifically accurate? Carissa says, if you compare it to one with zombies from pop culture, it's not completely accurate. These insects are very much alive, whereas in fictional movies, zombies are often the undead.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Big difference, going back to your point earlier, Kate. These ants are infected with Orpheocordyceps cordyceps are not dead and they're just walking around. Like it's like having an infection.
Yeah. It just gets worse over time, and then you climb a tree and sprout a mushroom out of your head. No sweat.
Exactly. So what makes real life hosts similar to fictional zombies is that they are behaving in such a way as to benefit the parasite, not the host. So that's why we compare it or link it back to zombie. So their behavior is working in the nature of what's needed for the parasite to replicate.
Yep.
Question, is there any reason to believe that a fungus like this could infect a human body and turn us into zombies? Pretty much the question Kate
Please
really needs to know.
Me. Please answer me this.
So Carissa says the very short answer is absolutely not.
Okay.
Everything in the human body is so different from the insects that these fungi normally infect. Again, like it's not like just ripping open an ant's head and looking at a brain. Like they have totally different physiology to us, and our nervous tissue, even our body temperature, it's all just so vastly different.
Good.
So even if the fungi were somehow able to cause a small infection in us, the machinery that is needed for the fungus to do such a precise manipulation is simply not there.
Okay.
These fungi evolved strategies to manipulate specific insect hosts over millions and millions of years. Like, this is as far as it's gotten over millions of years, Kate. It's only managed to just do 30 species of ants.
30 species of ants. Okay, so I've got time.
You'll be dead long before.
Perfect.
So it's not like a generalist thing. It's not like a flu or something that just goes and can cause havoc.
There's specific mushies for specific ants, and it's taken millions of years.
Yeah.
Okay, that does give me some
comfort.
Yeah.
Now, each species only knows how to deal with one particular insect. So we don't see the fungi specialists just jumping from one ant species to another, let alone from an ant species to another insect species. Spreading from ant to human is just like, it can't even go from
That's a few too many steps in the evolutionary process.
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Okay, so in the show, question, a fictional epidemiologist. I was doing so well.
You were doing so well.
Because now you call me out. And I'm
so sorry. I threw you off. I know.
Now, this epidemiologist suggests that climate change could make harmful fungi more tolerant to warmer temperatures.
Okay.
As a result, they could more readily jump to warm-blooded animals or species, which is like us humans. Is that a concern? So really cool question.
Yeah.
Carissa says that actually is a legitimate concern. And medical mycologists have about, harmful fungi called Candida auris, not cordyceps, though that's not my expertise. She says that is a concern for other types of fungi.
Right.
She says most fungal infections are skin infections, or if, say, you're an immunocompromised patient, certain spores that normally are benign might settle in your lungs and cause a problem.
Right.
So that's already happening today, Kate.
So I'm thinking that these mushies getting used to warmer temperatures, getting used to warm-blooded creatures. So there is the possibility of a koala having this sort of effect, or a possum, and them climbing up a tree and then mushies sprouting out of their eyeballs. Is that what you're trying to say to me?
No, not quite yet.
Okay.
But it's a step, one of the
step
blockers.
In the wrong direction, in my opinion.
Yes, yes, Kate. So one of the numerous reasons why something might struggle to find its way to humans is temperature. That's one of lots and lots of things stopping it.
Okay.
So it's just flagging that, rising temperatures does encourage things to learn how to survive in warmer temperatures. So, So there has been some experimentation that shows that fungi could perhaps adapt to higher temperatures as they adapt to a warming world.
Mm-hmm.
You can imagine that if their optimal temperature comes closer to our body temperature, fungal infections could become more of a problem. So maybe not zombie ones, but the, already fungal infection world that we deal with, Kate.
Yes.
could increase.
Athlete's foot,
Yeah, there you
thrush.
go. Yes.
That's all I've got.
Okay, question. In the show, the fungus spreads through bites, not spores.
Sorry.
Bites.
I definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, and if you rewind this 15 seconds, thought that you said butts. B-U-T-T-S, butts. It travels through butts. And I was about to say, I've not played the game. I own it. I've not played it. And I've not seen the show. But please do explain how it is transferred through butts.
Butts. I have butts on the mind usually. So, bites.
Okay.
So, in the show, the fungus spreads not through spores, like we've just done the science. It spreads through people being bitten by someone that's infected.
Who's infected. Understood.
So that's not how it would actually work if these fungi-infected zombies were real, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So Carissa says, if you play the game, you'll see that spores do play a role in spreading infection, but no, the fungus wouldn't spread through biting.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, across the fungal kingdom, going from one spot to another or from one host to another is done by spores.
Okay. I would like to go to the fungal kingdom. That sounds fun.
Really, Kate?
Is this like Disneyland?
Your response so far has not...
No, I do not want to go there. I do not want to go there.
Okay, so this interviewer then asks another question and says, I'm a big fan of fungi. They decompose plants. They can be psychedelic. They're also delicious. Is it unfair that cordyceps are the villain in the show? And Carissa says, it's great that finally fungi are hip and happening.
So good. We've been waiting for so long. Can I say, the amount of bad press and the lack of PR that the fungi community have had recently is an atrocity. And I really am so pleased they're finally in the limelight like they should be. And I'm also thrilled that Carissa would be genuinely stoked because this is her life's work.
It is. So as she says, she's like, I hope the show sparks some interest in fungi in general because they're incredibly fascinating organisms. And you should, like, we've talked about the health benefits.
Yes, yeah.
And the intelligence and like think of Avatar and they talk about how the world's all connected through one organism. That's a fungi, folks.
Yeah.
So they're more important than people think, Carissa says. They are very much the villain in the show, and that's generally how we see parasites because they make us sick. But in nature, they're actually super important and just as important as all the other organisms. They keep everything in check. If ants, for instance, weren't pestered by certain parasites, not just Ophiocordyceps, but anything else that makes them sick, then their numbers might get out of control.
Yeah.
There's a reason why these specifically, target ants. It's a check. You might get an overpopulation of a certain species, and taking out a parasite like this fungus might be like taking out a predator from the ecosystem, and that could cause biodiversity to decline.
Mm-hmm.
So, Kate, it's actually a good thing that our ant populations are being kept in check.
Okay.
Just in a rather disgusting and
morbid way. Yeah.
Okay, so final question for Carissa. I'm afraid to ask, but how common are fungi in general? Carissa says, not to scare you, but in every breath of air you take, there will be fungal spores. Most of them are not harmful to us. Most spores you're inhaling right now are benign or fungi that don't know how to deal with our body, so you'll never even notice them, but they are everywhere. Folks, Kay's broken.
I just spent way too much time concentrating on how many breaths I just took. What do you mean? Can you just read that last little bit for me again, please?
Not to scare you, but in every breath of air you take, there will be fungal spores. Most of them are not harmful to us. Most spores you're inhaling right now are benign or fungi that don't even know how to deal with our body. So you'll never even notice them, but they are everywhere.
Okay. I'll accept that, I suppose. I'm not happy about it, but I'll accept it.
You have
Okay?
survived quite a while, Kate.
Yes, I have, but now I'm going to be thinking about it every time I take a deep breath. I'm going to be like, how many spores was that?
Okay, I've got another interview, a little bit shorter.
Okay.
And we're going to wrap that up really quickly with some sciencey facts, okay?
Science.
Okay. This is an interview with Brian Dettinger. He is a biology professor at the University of Utah and curator of mycology at the Natural History Museum of Utah. And he recently told NPR that the fungus is one of the best known and probably most commonly encountered kinds of organisms with this mind control capability. And he said that scientists aren't entirely sure how cordyceps are able to have the effect that it does on insects, although there are theories. So let's unpack that a little.
Mm-hmm.
There seems to be some combination of physical manipulation of muscle fibers, for example, possibly growth into the brain itself that can impact its behavior. But there's also very likely some sort of chemical attack on the host, either small molecules or proteins or some other things that end up manipulating brain behavior, which we talked about.
Yep.
Dedinger, who is also a fan of the TV show The Last of Us, said that there are some major differences between how the fungus is portrayed in the show and in real life. Cordyceps do not typically infect other hosts through the mouth. For example, they're infected through a network.
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps the most important, fungus cannot infect humans. As he says, our body temperatures are high enough that most organisms, their proteins would denature and at that temperature, and so they can't survive in our bodies.
Okay. So they're done.
That's good. But he says there are species of fungus that are able to withstand higher temperatures and can therefore infect humans.
Great.
He says as well, climate change is equipping certain fungi with the capacity to withstand high temperatures, and it's possible that a fungus with similar mind control capabilities could at some point be able to withstand a human's body temperature, but it is highly unlikely and a long time away.
Okay. Cool.
He does let us know, though, that may be one reason why we're seeing more fungal infections in human beings to date. None of them are cordyceps, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Could be attributed to climate change. So there is scientifically data to suggest that there is a rise in fungal infections amongst humans.
Good. Okay. All right. Fine. I'm not happy about it. Okay? I'll be perfectly frank with you. I'm not happy about it.
So he does finish by saying, however, maybe that will happen in the future, but at the moment, that's not a possibility.
Okay, thanks.
And as Dettinger, there are already species of fungus that alter a human's mental processing. So, Kate, it's already happened and it's okay. So there's such fungal, I wouldn't say it's an infection.
Yes.
But there is magic mushrooms, such as psilocybin, otherwise known as magic mushrooms. Meanwhile, other kinds of fungi are already ubiquitous in human life. Take yeast, for example, which is found in bread and in the human gut. So
it is.
We're already infected infected and affected
by fungi.
Yeah.
Great.
Now, while the prospect of fungus being able to manipulate human behavior isn't impossible, it's not likely, according to Dettinger. The traits the fungus have that allow them to attack an insect host are very specific to that insect, and it's not easily transferable to another species. It's unlikely that they would be able to hop from, say, an ant to a human because we're so different.
Yeah, we like that.
I just wanted to
multiple sources. Okay.
Now, I'm wondering, I think I'm going to save my last article
for our brickies
and story for our brickies.
Yes, let's do it.
And it's not for the faint of heart.
Okay. Wait. Okay. I'm faint of heart.
I know. I'm scared to tell you, Kate. But
okay. All right. I want to be involved.
I'm going to finish it there. We're going to have a slightly shorter episode this week, folks, which is probably not a bad thing anyway. So
yeah. Go out and buy some magic mushrooms and listen to the Patreon episode.
we don't actually endorse buying of illegal substances.
No, we don't. But if I went away on the weekend up to country, Victoria, and the person I was with, her partner is quite adept at flora and
Oh.
found some just on the side of the road and brought them
Oh,
home
yeah.
and was like, these are magic mushrooms. And I said, how would you possibly know that? And he was like, look, this is blue here. I guarantee they're magic mushrooms. And I was like, what? Just growing on the side of the road? And
Yeah.
so he took them home, and I think he was going to give them to a friend. Good for him.
I'm not that friend, folks.
No, you're not. Dom, thank you so much for sharing that story. I've never felt more uncomfortable in my life. So I really appreciate you doing that for me. And I will have to block our socials for the next week. And then I'll rejoin after that because I will feel physically sick, no doubt. But I cannot wait for this next part for the Patreons, the patrons, the brickies. Join up. It's only $5. Get your stingy hands in your pockets and get out a $5 note and email it to us, and we'll give you access.
That's how it works.
It's that simple. That's how the internet works, guys. Catch on. It's the World Wide Web. Hello.
Yeah. And thank you, Kate, for persevering. And thank you, folks. I hope you're not feeling too icky. And if you're seriously interested, there is very recent news that speaks to everything that we've just gone through, and it's a bit scary, folks.
Okay.
So I highly recommend
jump on our Patreon. Come on over. Come over to the dark side. We'll see you there soon.
Kate, do we know what we're talking about next week, or is it a surprise?
We don't. It's a surprise for me as much as it is for you.
You'll be inspired by this.
What I wrote down Hoover Dam, Deepwater Horizon, oil rigs, and then I did my signature a whole bunch of times because I had to sign an online document. So I had to do some signatures. So this is my comprehensive notes of episode ideas, and I will come up with something flashy, no doubt.
Okay, folks. Well, stay safe and enjoy your mushroom dinner.
Absolutely. All right. Mwah, love you guys. Bye-bye. Bye, 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 bye. Oh, I need some more wine. I'll be right back.
Go get some wine. Okay.